afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for April 22nd, 2020, Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern. When we think of or ponder, I know a lot of us just will ponder at times different things, and wonder what if, and so on and so forth. Picture this. Picture that, visualize in your heart minds, that all of us, in different stages, not only we literally are fighting ourselves. What that means is that it doesn't necessarily bring into perspective that it's a little difficult for people to comprehend, but we're on this planet. When you begin to realize that it's pure consciousness that basically creates everything. So the pure consciousness is the God. It is source creation. And when you begin to realize that, it shifts your entire perspective on things. Because nothing is external at all. It never has been. And it's always, the reason this has always been center stage with like Buddha, Christ, and many others, is that you come to the realization that you are the former. You are the configurer. You do all of it. So don't I think a lot of people underestimate the fact that they're very powerful, so that they can affect the shift and a change just by themselves. So can you imagine that you have so many people on this planet that are not conscious, and I mean consciously aware that they're conscious, and so that they create and they send out all kinds of ripples in the collective consciousness. And so the ripples can be bad guys, different things, different structures that are creating this, different disturbances on the planet. And what it means is that we do not have a synergy of understanding amongst all. You see how it can become disjointed, where we haven't come to the collective understanding that we are all one. We are the one. And what that means is that we've been so trained to be like we're separate. Now, individual in the sense of the word that you focus on your direction, you decide your direction, you decide your path, and then you pursue it. You go within you to pursue the understanding of the God that you are and the pure consciousness that you are. But imagine all the people that don't have that awareness yet. And so we create, when we're in fear and sorrow and anguish and revenge and hatred and negativity, we create the things that we fear. We create those. So if you look at all the bad guys, they're of a certain perspective. Now, does it mean that they are consciously aware? No, it doesn't. Does it mean that many are bicameral? Absolutely. When you are convinced or led to believe that you're to follow something other than the journey within you, and you succumb to those low frequencies of being influenced and directed. That's what happens to many on this planet. And this is why those of us who are in an ascension motion understand that it is collectively we are shifting the very existence of this planet and this civilization. We affect that. And the more people that in their own way, in their own decision, make the commitment to themselves that they understand that everything is about me. And of course we've been taught that that's selfish, that that's a selfish thing. And there's good selfish and there's bad selfish, like everything else. And the selfishness is not about gimme, and my. It is, the selfishness is that you have decided on your own direction, your own way, to pursue the relationship with the God within you. And the God within you is pure consciousness, which is then connected to all things. And this is why, so many come to these global guided meditation calls, and so many after they come listen to them over and over again. The reason is that we are finding out that of literally who and what we are. All of us are pure consciousness, and we operate in different directions to experience for the one. And the one is all of us. So we all experience together as the one, but yet separately contributing through our different directions in this life, if you understand that. So we all contribute to our own experiences to the one, which is all. Now, if we create, which shouldn't be a mind bender at all at this stage, we create the subterfuge, the negation of the civilization. So because of the civilization not understanding collectively that it is creating these things, it believes, and it's always been taught to believe, that it is external. These things are coming from different directions. They're appearing here and there. I'll give you an example. Who do you think creates wormholes, vortices, gateways, jump gates? Who do you think creates that? How is that created? It's created by the collective consciousness, pure consciousness, all right? And the pure consciousness has been given many names. The God, okay? Source creation, prime source creator God, prime creator, mother, father God. All of these things are literally names for the source, which is pure consciousness. So if you understand that collectively this civilization creates all of its horrors and all of its wonderment, but yet it is separated from itself to not understand the fact that it is the creator of all things. It is the creator. There's no force out there that is ominous and destructive. It's the same with the AIs that exist throughout the universes that go rogue and pursue planets and biological life forms so that they can literally come in, take it over, and remove the biological life forms. Though we've created, the collective consciousness goes everywhere. Every planetary system, every universe, it's everywhere. And yes, the contribution, the people say, well, is there a collective consciousness, only pure consciousness in this universe? No, we're connected to all universes. We are part of the one. And the one is all. And all means everything. This also means those beyond consciousness. So when we begin to realize that we're here, okay, on this planet, and our gods, our pure consciousness, is housed within these bodies. Now, isn't it amazing that the majority of us are not at the understanding that we are consciousness. We are pure consciousness in these bodies. We are the God. And so the God literally affects all things. So if you have a civilization that is immersed in a fight with itself. How would that be? How can that be possible? How can we be creating such horrible things? All right? Well, it stems from many billions of years. And where it stems from is that a soul, a pure consciousness in the body, can become twisted, can become tarnished, can become traumatized to the extent where it no longer can be pure consciousness from the standpoint of uninterrupted love, of deep eternal love. And so those are twisted consciousness of gods. And so what they do is when they come into a physical form, they immediately begin to darken wherever they're at. In other words, bring it into negative chaos. Now, through trauma, there are a lot of souls that go through trauma while being in physical form, and they're kind of broken, so to speak. And they totally cut themselves off from the one. So they operate in a self-invested consciousness, so to speak. And unfortunately, the consciousness is pretty much twisted through bicameralism, where they follow things that they're convinced are real so that they become real. So when you see people and you see these different factions on this planet, and it doesn't matter if you're human, Homo sapien, which for those of you who don't know what that means, Homo is human, sapien is hybrid. So, when you hear the word, you don't hear it a lot. It's not used a lot. Everything's kind of thrown into one bucket and called human. And the reason we separate human and Homo sapien, Draconian, Andromedan, Syrian, Pleiadian, Arcturian, and on and on and on, is because we're all the one. It's everyone. It's all civilizations. We are all the one. Now, what happens when the minority of these civilizations, become twisted and destructive? It is because that the one is not unified in some areas, which means that it is not consciously aware of what it does. It is led by a force, which is an external authority, that it believes it must have in order to function. Now, some of the civilization on this planet feels the same way. They feel that they need to have an external authority in order to function. Now, you understand that we are supreme reality. So what happens is that if we believe that deeply, then it will be. There's no arguing about it. There's no question. If we believe it, then it will be. So there are those on this planet that wish to do harm to others, and they believe that the others are provided to them to do harm to them. They believe that this is a good thing, and for them. So we understand all of these happenings, the children underground, and a lot of people don't understand the one. We're all the one. So these children, even though these children are bred underground, they never see the light of day. And so the women are taken from the surface. The women are then brought into underground facilities to be processed and acclimated. The women are then impregnated to create these children so that the children can be bred like lab rats and animals to be tested upon, sodomized, raped, and pillaged repeatedly until they no longer can sustain the body. The souls are broken within those bodies, so they are twisted, and many of the souls we call being cocooned, which means that the soul, yes, needs to be brought back to wholeness, oneness, comforted, and literally said, saturated with love for a period of time before the soul can operate again. A lot of people don't talk about this. But this is what's happening in a much deeper understanding with this planet. So when we understand, this is why it's so important for each of us, and it is not forced. It is our decision, each of us, to determine for ourselves in our own way, in our own direction, that we must embrace the love that we are. This is not about saving each other. It's not about that. That's a religious man construct, man-made construct to separate us even further away from the gods that we are. So when we begin to embrace the fact that these children are part of the one, even though they were bred like animals under the surface, even though their eyes, their retinas are different because they can't, the lighting and the air quality and everything in the lower catacombs of where they're kept are different. Where do you think all these ventilators are going? Why do you think all these ships have been stationed in certain places? It is for these children. Now, they can't breathe when you bring them to the surface, so they have to give them ventilators, and they also have to cover their eyes and their skin so that they can rush them into facilities to start literally assisting with their recoveries. You understand that this is huge trauma for the civilization. It affects us all. This isn't something that's shoved under the carpet and it can continue to go on with this planet, because it affects everyone. This is why some of us experience fits of anger, frustration, fear, out of the clear blue, of which we're just floating right along and there's no reason to experience it. This is why we talk so much about in these meditations, that to understand that most of your thoughts are not yours. But we embrace those thoughts and we create them into reality. And we are supreme reality. So when we create them in reality, they are. So it is, so it shall be. We create them. Have we, as a collective consciousness, created all of the bad as the good? Yes, we have. This is not something that, we're thrusted into guilt. All of this garbage and this dogma that's been dumped on this civilization for ages. It is the positive of awareness that we have the knowledge, so that we begin to shift that frequency and that knowing, so that this never can be done again. So we visualize in our heart minds all of this going on. And for some, it's not pleasant. It's not something that you would wish to visit. It's a lot of things like the things that we hide within us, that we don't face off with, that we don't embrace, so that it can be literally vanished from us, so that we can continue to move forward. It's so different than that. So these are the dark areas of our civilization. And we're taught to believe that it's coming from out there, that this has all happened. And it isn't. It's coming from here. And we address that by understanding that we shift that vibrational frequency, that all of these children, these preteens, and these teenagers have experienced in physical form, so that the love that we all are finally is front and center. And that they begin to realize that they are the love too. And that what happens to the body is brought on by the creation of creating into reality and a manifestation of all things by the one. Where do demons come from? They come from pure consciousness. How is that to be? Collective consciousness creates them through trauma, pain, sorrow, fear, anger, aggression, revenge, hurt, all of these things. And for us to have the knowledge of understanding then we can literally circumvent any further damage to physical lives. Every one of us deserves the best of everything. We all do. Every one of us. We are all gods, period. And we are pure consciousness in these bodies, which we label as the God. And our pure consciousness deserves the best of everything. The best of life, the best of longevity, the best of health, the best of happiness and joy, where we find within us. And the more we journey within ourselves, the more we begin to embrace. All of us, all 72 million of us, can embrace all of those children. It doesn't necessarily mean that we have to know them in their physical form. It's just that we know that they're part of us. That all of the things going on beneath the surface of this planet are part of us. People say, well, there's Draco, there's Pre-Adamites, there's other factions down there that they're not our civilization. No, but they are part of the collective consciousness. We look beyond the bodies, okay? There are many twisted beings out there that house physical form. They have massive love under pressure. And massive love under pressure means that they are vindictive, destructive, and all they care about is destroying. This is an anti-civilization of a grouping of those who aren't connected to the one, to the pure consciousness, to the love. It's not something that we should be amazed about or surprised. It's something that we know about. And I sense it with many of you that you already know that. Knowing is one thing, but affecting a shift is another. And we don't need to go out in massive numbers to do that. We can do it now. We can affect the shift. You visualize all these children, all these women, underground and above too, in these sex trafficking and all the debauchery and all the vileness that continues to go on. And we understand that part of the one has created this. It's not a blame. It's not a negative. It is a knowing. You know, when we keep our house in order, the pure consciousness that we all are, there are areas that maybe we have not paid attention to that allowed this to fester and expand through the millions and billions of years. So, okay, that's understandable. So we embrace that, and we affect the change. And since we're all supreme beings, we're all supreme reality, and we are pure consciousness in these bodies. Then together, visualize all of these farmed children that carry the God within them will no longer be traumatized. And never again shall it happen on this planet. So it is, and so it shall be. In order to really effect a saturating shift for all of these people, we have to visualize. We don't have to. We choose to visualize exactly what's going on. And I know all of you know what is transpiring because we are part of it. And I don't mean, I'm not saying that we are doing it. I'm saying that we're part of it because we are the one. So there are parts of the pure consciousness that have generated this low frequency, if you will, that's caused this degradation of life. And we all know that life, we value life as the highest value in the universes. So this meditation is simply put children. you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted, and I'm sure we all are. And the first thing that we choose to do is to relax our bodies. And that's to let everything go. All the low frequencies that we collect. Because we're like magnets. We collect everything. In the course of 24 hours, we pull in all kinds of thoughts that aren't ours. We embrace this, do that. We get off on tangents in different directions, and then before you know it, we've got a whole truckload in 24 hours that we have attracted. So let it all go. Imagine that the surface of your body, inside and out, is so slick and so smooth that nothing can hold on to it. Anything, doesn't matter if it's etherical or physical, it can't stick to it. So it just all falls away. And picture this and visualize it in your heart minds. And as all of this stuff that we put with us, our fears, how that ego mind jumps in every time. They're embracing a fear thought. Here, the thought that's going to create fear. Okay, let's fuel that. Let's fuel it. Okay. But then one of the most powerful things you can say while you're relaxing the body is you say to the ego mind, I understand you're here and you're part of all of this, but you are not in charge. So take a seat. I am in charge. And you'll notice a shift in the wave of frequency. You don't do it with anger. You don't do it with fear. You do it with total heart-mind confidence. And maybe in the course of a day, you may have to do it 100, 200, 300 times. But you know it's the knowledge, it's your awareness, it's your pure consciousness that knows. It's very enlightening and very powerful. So you relax the body and you let all that crap go. And we don't care to be crap keepers, because we're not. So we identify and release. Identify and release. Now, as we relax the body, because it will listen, and it will relax, and you drop the shoulders, because a lot of us hold our shoulders up, we don't know it. It's part of the stress factor of being on this planet, and we alleviate it. We just let it go. We tend to it as much as possible. The same with the lower back, and the legs, and the arms, and the feet, and the hands. You'd be surprised how much stress you carry in your hands and your feet. So you let it all go. It falls off and vaporizes. So as you relax the body, we want to move into the now. And the now really is all we have. We don't have the past. People say, well, I have my past. I have my thoughts and memories. Well, sure you do, because you're holding on to them. You see? You hold on to them. Anything that we have experienced in the past, we have with us as far as experience. But we don't go in the past to create our futures. Many will go into the past, drag the past into the future to create the future and relive the past. And instead, we are deeply grateful for what we've experienced, and we move forward and we never look back. We never look over our shoulders. Why would we? It's all dead back there. So in the now, we're creating our futures, the futures that we desire. And remembering that every one of us deserves the best of everything. Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we deserve the best of everything? Oh, well, I'm not deserving, and that's being greedy, and, I don't feel comfortable with that. And it's crazy. We're not talking about greed. That's the lower frequency. We're talking about total joy, bliss, harmony, peace, abundance, prosperity, wealth, while we're in these bodies and while we're visiting with this planet. That's why we're heaven on earth. So therefore we create the paradise and the God planet. So all of us, every single one of us, can be in the splendor of enjoying the best of everything. It doesn't make any sense any other way. So the now also stills the mind, the ego mind. Not the mind, but the ego mind. The ego attaches itself to the mind. Therefore, it always is incessantly drumming us with unending thoughts. And they're just thoughts. You know, we relax the body, we're in the now, we still the mind. The reason we still the mind is that the chatter and all these thoughts, the majority of which are not ours, subside. And we become one in peace and joy and bliss and gentleness and kindness and generosity and humbleness and in tranquility and benevolence. It is a stasis. It is a place that is deep within our core being. This is our natural state of being. So we also want to breathe. We want to breathe breath in through our nose and breath out through our mouths. And as we breath in, we take in a wonderful, quiet, nice, comfortable breath in through the nose. And as we breath it in, we visualize that we're pulling the breath from the sacral chakra as it comes in, which is basically the groin area, and then up through the center of all the chakras, all of our energy points, main energy points in the body, and the etheric realm connecting the physical. So we go up through those chakras, heart chakra, throat chakra, sacral chakra. We go all the way up into the brain. And we hover inside the skull cap over the brain. And as we pull this wonderful frequency of oxygen, nitrogen, and all of this in, we condense it. We pressurize it into liquid frequency. So when we do that, we release it over the pineal gland. And as we release it over the pineal gland responds. It saturates the pineal gland, and it begins to open. It stops becoming a raisin, and it turns into a plum. It's the reverse. We reverse the suppression of the pineal gland, which is our gateway to all particles of existence. It is the gateway for us to move beyond consciousness. This is why our pineals have been under such siege for so very long. We end the siege. We, as the collective consciousness, we end it. And so this is this breathing that we do. And we visualize it comes up, we condense it, compress it into liquid, we release it over the pineal begins to blossom, expand in vibrancy, in high frequency, and we do this at least 6 times while I'm talking. We visualize this breathing in, the saturation of the pineal, back down, around, back up, and in. We do it easily, effortlessly, relaxedly. Now, we hold this understanding of pure consciousness within us. And we have the heart-mind. So, as we breath in, this frequency of communication, it's not words, it's not voices in your head. It is a vibrational frequency that we feel in the heart center. And it's a communication. And we have this, when others call out in the collective consciousness, in pure consciousness, to the one, when they scream out or call out desperately for help, the help is coming from part of us. You understand that? This is the vibrational frequency of calling out for help. Where when someone says, "Dear God, please help me," the God is all of us. You understand that? It is the pure consciousness that one calls out to, but not consciously aware that that's what they're calling out to. So this is why we hear through vibrational frequencies all the sorrow, all the pain, all the disturbance underneath the surface of this planet, and on top of it, on the surface and underneath the surface. And the enlightening understanding of that is that we come to the aid of ourselves. With these children and these women, we come to the aid of ourselves. They're part of us. They're not separated from us. Just because they're farmed underground, just because, the traumas that others afflict upon them, they're part of us. Just like when I say children, the children are part of us. And we, only all of us, only us, the one, the collective consciousness, pure consciousness of inside each and every one of us, can affect the assistance, the help. Only we can do it. Only the one, which is everything. So this is the communication that comes in through our gods and to our heart minds, not our ego minds. And it basically says, we help ourselves. We come to the aid of the children, women. And we come to the aid of all others on the planet and in it that are in need of us, because they are part of us. And all of us are pure, deep, eternal love and gratitude. When you stop being in conflict with yourselves, you then begin to realize the true gods that you really are, and the true love that you truly are. And all this other stuff, unknowingly in most cases, we have created. Therefore, we can eliminate it. We can shift it. Now, obviously, we also have the ego mind saying, stay away from that. That's just a bunch of goopy, blah, 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 blah. Over here with me, you're doing fine. But we know that's not the case. In each second of our existence in these bodies, we know that that is not the truth. So we work and we operate through our heart minds. And we commune and embrace deeply, and we have an intimate relationship with the gods within us and our bodies. We're one. We are literally heaven on this earth. We are pure consciousness. We are the gods. We are the one. And we have others with us that are helping us because we are part of them and they are part of us. We are all the one. So we have the archangels, the cherubim, the seraphim, the archetypes. All of the angels, there are trillions of them, and they vibrate at a different frequency than we do. And so therefore it's not like we see them like we see each other. But they are always with us, and they always appear in human-made form, or just in a feeling, or a scent. But they're always with us. And they love us, and we love them. We have the Ascended Masters. Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Sananda Jesus, El Morya, Abundantia, Pel, Thoth, many, many, many more. Now, they have mastered ascension. They have ascended out of body and hold their God form. They hold pure consciousness. we have ascended into body to experience physical form. So we're mastering, okay? And eventually we will come to the understanding that they have come to. So it's not a race. It doesn't make them any more powerful or omnipotent than we are. Everyone is on a journey, and that journey is the same journey. We just all are taking different paths. We end up all together in the end. So, now the archangels, ascended masters, and ourselves are consciously aware that we are all of the highest, deepest eternal love and the highest and deepest eternal gratitude. And we come together in this now and in this meditation, and we form a circle of light, a halo. And this halo, the circle of light, embraces the equator of this planet, Earth, Gaia. This now, in this meditation. And as we do this, we become the light. We become source creation light. This is a vibrational frequency of pure consciousness, of deep eternal love and gratitude. It is the essence of all things. So this light is not like the light you would see here on this planet. It is a brilliant white light, and it grays out the darkness of space, and it is 1 billion times brighter than the sun in the solar system. Now, as we do this and we form this circle, we become the light. The gods within us merge and create this high frequency of this beautiful, deep, eternal love light. And then we begin to ascend, to levitate above the planet. As we do this, we immediately come into this gossamer field that's surrounding everything. And the gossamer field, gossamer you can kind of see through, okay? So it's kind of hazy, but you can kind of see the shadows and reflective brilliant lights all over the place. So it's like a field of glitter. And as you see this field of glitter, you see all these vibrant colors, and you see this emerald green flaming healing light that Archangel Raphael carries. It's a column that reminds us that we are the power of healing. We have the violet, blue, purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is the column that reminds us of our power, of our strength, and of our resolve. We have the white fire. This is our armor that duly suited for each and every one of us, depending on how high we maintain our frequencies of deep eternal love and gratitude. It is our choice that if we go deep into the lower frequencies, we will then open the door to allow those lower frequencies to enter. And then we are reminded through the purple transmuting flame that if this does happen, we then can bring in the purple transmuting flame. And this column reminds us that it comes in and it totally transmutes all these lower frequencies into neutral light substance, and we send them back to the collective consciousness for repurposing. So as we do this, we also are reminded of the column of the violet ray. And so we bring the violet ray, it comes in behind the purple transmuting flame, and it purifies, and it lifts the frequencies of where the lower frequencies were just eliminated from, and it lifts it back up into high balance of deep eternal love and gratitude. We have the golden white pink light of source creation, of that which created us. Deep eternal love and gratitude. And all of this is us. One Father God, masculine, feminine, prime source creator God, all created by source creation. All created out of deep eternal love. So we continue to levitate, we continue to ascend, and as we continue to do so, we literally see this massive column that we created, and this column is larger than this solar system, and up on the top of this column, at all sides of it, 360 degrees, it is spewing forth an absolute continual flow of golden ocean energy frequency of deep eternal love and gratitude. You see it shimmering as it saturates all things, as it continually lifts all of creation into higher and higher frequencies. Those of us carrying a physical form, step outside of our bodies and hover above them, effortless. As we do this, we immediately call out to all the light energy beings that are in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever, beyond, and forever. Now, only those who are consciously aware that they are of the highest, deepest eternal love from the highest, deepest eternal love and the highest and deepest eternal gratitude can join us in this meditation and this now in the circle of light. They're in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, and benevolence. And they come in the glucoplexes. Now, one glugoplex fills this universe. They come in the trillions from every direction. And arm in arm, hand in hand, their gods with our gods with theirs, they are with us in this now, in this meditation, in the circle of light. They're of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude and the highest of deepest eternal love. And we are of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude and the deepest of eternal love. And we're all the one. And we are the God. And we are the love. And our God-light energy is absolutely everywhere, and it continues to intensify, and it continues to expand. We call upon all the inhabitants of inner Earth, hollow Earth, Agartha, and beneath Earth, many, many, many civilizations. Only those who are consciously aware that they are the highest, deepest eternal love from the highest, deepest eternal love and the highest and deepest eternal gratitude can join us in this meditation, this now in the circle of light. They're in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, and benevolence. And they come. Arm in arm, hand in hand, their gods with our gods with theirs. They are with us in this now, in this meditation, in this circle of light. They are of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude. We are in the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude and the highest of deepest eternal love. And we are the one. And we are the love. And we are the God. And our God-light energy is absolutely everywhere, and it continues to intensify, and it continues to expand. We call upon all the off-worlders, all the galactics, and just to name a smidgen, a fraction of our familiarity with all of these civilizations, the Arcturians, the Syrians, the Pleiadians, and the Andromedans. Many, many, many more. And only those who are consciously aware that they are of the highest, deepest eternal love from the highest, deepest eternal love and the highest and deepest eternal gratitude can join us in this meditation and this now in the circle of light. They're in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, and benevolence. And they come in the billions, and they've been assisting us in our evolution, in our enlightenment, in our ascension, and freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed slavery. Arm in arm, hand in hand, their gods with our gods with theirs. They are with us in this now, in this meditation, in this circle of light. They are of the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude, and the highest of deepest eternal love. We are of the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude, and the highest of deepest eternal love. And we are the one. We are the God, and we are the love. And our God-light energy is absolutely everywhere. And it continues to intensify, and it continues to expand. We call upon all of our loved ones, all of those who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited. Only those who are consciously aware that they are of the highest, deepest eternal love from the highest, deepest eternal love and the highest of deepest eternal gratitude can join us in this now, in this meditation, in this circle of light. They're in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence. And they come in the billions, arm in arm, hand in hand, their gods with our gods with theirs. They are with us in this now, in this meditation, in this circle of light. They are of the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude, and the highest of deepest eternal love. We are in the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude, and the highest of deepest eternal love. And we are the one. We are the love, and we are the God. And our God-light energy is absolutely everywhere. And it continues to intensify, and it continues to expand. We call upon all the light energy beings who have decided to be housed in the following forms on, in, above, and below this planet Earth Gaia, and this now, in this meditation, this circle of light. Only those who are consciously aware that they are of the highest, deepest eternal love from the highest, deepest eternal love and the highest of deepest eternal gratitude can join us in this now, in this meditation, in this circle of light. Just to name a fraction of them: the fairies, the sprites, the elves, dwarves, the gnomes, the trees, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, the mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, and the minotaur, and many, many, many more. They're in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, and benevolence. And they come in the trillions, shapes, colors, sizes, forms, configurations of which many we have never seen before. Their gods with our gods, arm in arm, hand in hand, our gods with their gods. They are with us in this now, in this meditation, this circle of light. They are of the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude and the highest of deepest eternal love. We are of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude and the highest of deepest eternal love. And we are the one. We are the love. We are the God. And our godlight energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And it continues to intensify, and it continues to expand. We look up and we see our meditative sphere. We all created this sphere over 2 years ago. It sits center circle. It holds hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of our meditations in perpetual motion. The highest of the highest, deepest, eternal love and light frequencies and gratitude. And it can be seen, heard, and felt in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. You feel it. It floods us always. Head to toe inside now, both our physical, biological, and our etheric bodies. It is of the highest of highest high frequencies, at the deepest of eternal love and the deepest of eternal gratitude. It embraces all of us. It is us. It is the pure consciousness. It is the God. It is the deep eternal love and gratitude. Floods us, saturates us, bathes us, constantly lifting our vibrational frequencies into ever more higher and higher and higher frequencies. As our pure consciousness begins to become pure, clarified, cleansed, only the high frequencies exist. Any of the low dark matter frequencies that we've created are dispersed, are dismantled, are absorbed into the one for repurposing into new gods, into new additions to the collective consciousness, in a purified state of deep eternal love. And we look also, we see this massive, massive column that we've created. It sets an etherical and physical space. It literally floods the entire planet and solar system in the highest of the highest highs of the deepest of eternal love and gratitude. It is non-stop. It is eternal, just as our sphere is. Now, we look down upon this planet Earth, Gaia, and this now, and this meditation, in this circle of light, as if there are no barriers, which there are not. All of us, as part of the collective consciousness, and the pure conscious gods that we are, we see all of those in harm's way. We sense them through our heart minds. We know them as they are part of us. We then begin to embrace them. We cocoon them in brilliant, white, deep, eternal love, light frequency. Every single one of them. They are literally flooded. They are brought into the golden ocean of pure consciousness. They are in stasis. They are sent there to heal, because we are healing ourselves, because they are part of us, and we are part of them, because we are all the one. We are all the love, and we are all the God. So all the children, all of the women, all of those who have been literally dissected, experimented with, farm-raised beneath the surface of this planet, all the debauchery, all of this anger, all of this fear, all of the forlornment, All of the sorrow we lift away. See this in your heart minds and experience the love that we all are as it floods and saturates all of the one, so that we bring the one into balance and that our pure consciousness continues to ascend into the higher and higher and higher existences of the highest and deepest eternal love and gratitude. So we embrace, we protect from this now forward, and continue to do so with our meditative sphere and the column that we have created to literally lift all of them, all of the children, all of the women, all of those who are being literally harmed in many ways and pulled and taken away from that harm and encased in all of our love, in all of our joy, in all of our bliss, which is the highest power, the strongest strength in existence, in all things. We love them all as we love ourselves, and we are the one. I'll join you in the meditation and return to close us out. take this visual in your heart minds with you the rest of the day into the evening and night and the following morning. Because we, all of us, part of the collective consciousness and pure consciousness with the gods within us, we all are protecting these children and these women and all those in harm's way on and above and below this planet Earth, Gaia. And this now, in this meditation, this circle of light, and from this time now forward throughout eternity. We'll be back here at 9 p.m. Eastern for a Time for Change call. It is going to take many of you into a place that you have never experienced before. And we will be back here tomorrow to continue our Global Guided Meditation call, which will be April 23rd, 2020, Thursday. Suggest that you come to the DFC